Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing well. If you like what you see in this video, feel free to leave a like, a subscribe, and possibly share the video. Today we're taking a look at Screamer. That's an interesting title. She is a screamer, that's what she said. Anyway, I wonder if there's a song related to that. She's a screamer. Um, yeah, so it's a racing, looks like an arcade anime inspired racing game, um, set to release in 2 days as of recording of this video, which is Thursday on the 26th. So I am running the latest NVIDIA driver that came out today uh, with this garbage DLSS 5. That screenshot always makes me chuckle. So the latest driver released today, as of Tuesday, March 24th, version 595.97. I have that installed. So just looking at this game, it looks like it's Milestone SRL, both the developer and the publisher. I'm not really familiar with them. Actually, I've never heard of them before. So I got the digital deluxe edition, which unlocks the game early. So without further ado, let's take a look at the system requirements and see if this is going to be another unoptimized game. Okay, so the recommended system requirement, it's asking for an Intel Core i5 14600K. Wow, that is a lot. And a Ryzen 7700X. So essentially, it's asking for an AMD 5800X 3D equivalent type of CPU in terms of performance, 16 gigabytes of system memory, and a RTX 4070. Okay, so that is equivalent to, if I have to guess, that's equivalent to RTX 3080. And then on the flip side is asking for a Radeon 9070 XT. Okay, these two GPUs, in case you don't know, they're not in the same league whatsoever. The RX 9070 XT is much faster. If I have to guess, roughly 30 FPS faster. It's equivalent to the Radeon, the ATI 7900 XTX, or the RX 480 slash 480 Super. So it's a pretty high end GPU as opposed to the NVIDIA 4070. So that begs to differ that this is most likely an NVIDIA sponsored or optimized game, and we all know how that typically ends up as a blurry mess with fake pixels DLSS or fake frame gen. So anyway, it's DX12, so it means it's going to be a stuttery mess, or require shader precompilation. Storage is 35 GB recommended. I'm guessing SSD. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at the game. We're in my hardware. Um, you know, Before the trolls come into my comment section and say my system is old, which is quite interesting because my system, my GPU in particular, is equivalent to a RTX 5060 Ti. So their whole idea of old is because my system is almost 8 years old. They think it's outdated, which is quite insane and laughable. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at this game and see how it runs. And we are back, taking a look at Screamer. Here I am in the main menu. As you can see by the controller icon, I am using a PlayStation controller, specifically my spare DualSense controller. So it's a PlayStation 5 controller. I typically don't play with this controller. I usually play with either the PS4 or the Xbox 360 controller. But I want to see if this game has some of the PlayStation 5 features like adaptive trigger and what's the other one? The rumble feature. So I'm in the main menu. Nothing too exciting there. Here's the driving tips, driving aids. You can customize controls. Okay, so your typical standard L2 for accelerating, L2 for braking. So okay, shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, it has a drift function. Interesting. Okay, so it sort of looks like a Burnout, maybe Need for Speed back in the day. Okay, so let's hit next. So we're in the graphical options menu. I always play full screen whenever I can. So go to my native resolution. Of course, it is Unreal Engine. I mean, you all know. If you've listened to a few of my videos recently, you know how I feel about the engine. I honestly, I'm not afraid to say it, and I do not pander to any of these companies. I think Unreal Engine 5 is a disgrace and abomination and an absolute disease to the gaming industry. But what can I say? This is what we have to deal with nowadays. Unreal Engine 5. But anyway, as far as like scaling resolution, anti-aliasing, we have temporal super resolution, aka blurry super resolution. Since it's temporal aliasing, you know it's going to be blurry. We have DLSS, NVIDIA fake pixels upscaling, and FSR 4.0. Wow, that's interesting. So AMD's version of fake pixels. So yeah, so we're gonna start with DLSS. Okay, at least it has DLAA. So we're gonna start with native resolution. FPS, dynamic FPS. I guess that means unlimited. So we're gonna go with that. So we'll set everything to Epic. You know, it's Unreal Engine typical Epic preset. There's no ray tracing, so you have anti-aliasing, post-processing quality, effects, shadows, reflection, global illumination, texture, foliage, and shading, all set to Epic. So we're gonna go to the next. Audio definitely has to be home theater. I have a 5.1 surround sound card plugged into my motherboard. It is a Creative Sound Blaster AE Plus, and connected to that is a true analog 5.1 surround sound headphones. So it's far superior to stereo headset. So I get to get deep bass and true directional audio, nothing software or stereo 3D audio, fake audio crap. So yeah, so we're gonna go with that. Push to talk, set to on. Nothing too exciting here. And lastly, you get to choose from story focused, balanced, or challenge. Since I'm a novice, I always go with balanced. So let's take a look at the racing and see how the game performs. So it looks like it has the DualSense feature. So I am feeling the adaptive trigger, which feels really good. So you get to stir with the right stick, which is, look at that, very bizarre. Whoa, what is that? Okay, I can't stir with the L3. So as you can see by my frame rate, there are no cars around. It's just me solo racing. Just trying to get me introduced to the game mechanics. As you can see, I'm in the 40s right now. This is with everything maxed out, DLAA set to native. So if I have to guess, turn in DLSS to qualities should improve my frame rate by maybe 20 FPS at the minimum. Even though I have DLSS set to native, the game is quite soft. It looks very blurry. And then let me stop here for a minute. If you look into the distance, the crane, if you look at the barbed wires, the metal wires, you can see that DLAA is not fully resolving the aliasing. They're still shimmering in the distance. And even the bridge guardrail, you can see a bunch of aliasing. Everything is aliased. Like the image looks distorted, and soft at the same time, which is quite bizarre. And that always makes me think, why don't these developers include the option of having far superior aliasing, like SMAA, CMAA, MSAA, anything that is not temporal aliasing or FXAA? Just include that in the game. Like, why is that so difficult? Games nowadays, they're just so blurry and they look so soft. It's mind-boggling. But anyway, enough with the rants. VRAM usage is hovering at 8.3. So if you have an 8 GB GPU, you're gonna struggle maxing out this game. You're gonna run into some stuttering for sure. Once you go over the 8 GB frame buffer. System memory is under 10 gigs, which is good. Everything else, GPU wattage is at what I expect, over 320 watts. GPU usage is 99%. Yeah, CPU temperatures, CPU wattage, CPU usage is pretty reasonable, pretty good. So it shows that this game is, you know, fully GPU bound. So we're gonna take a DLSS quality next. Oh, I thought that was gonna be the end of the racing. So this will be a good time to just pause and options. So let me go out of here and go into graphics and set this to DLSS quality. Is at it's 20 FPS higher than expected. Than like I expected. It's about 20 to 25 FPS higher. GPU wattage, since DLSS quality is upscaling from a much lower resolution. I'm guessing roughly 720p, maybe 1080p. The GPU wattage has dropped, not by much, but it has dropped. But the game does feel smoother. Yeah, I mean, it still looks. It looks. I mean, it looks okay. I've seen games like Burnout Paradise back in the day, Burnout 2, Need for Speed, Most Wanted. I mean, I remember those games. Like they were pushing. What was the other one? Need for Speed Shift. Oh, I remember that game. Shift 1 and Shift 2. Those games were pushing. Actually, were more impressive than what I'm seeing on screen. Like with the destructible car physics and just the chaos, the visual chaos, and just the sense of inertia. Those games were pretty impressive back in the day, and they still are. But yeah, so let's keep pace. Let's keep going. So I guess unless I complete these objectives, I wouldn't be able to. Okay, unless I finish drifting, I won't be able to finish the race. Great. All right, let's take a look. Okay. So you drift with the R3. Okay, so I guess I can finish the race now. All right. Yeah, as you can see, the game does have this anime vibe to it. It kind of takes itself a little bit too seriously. I mean, come on, you're a racing game. Just relax, all right? So we're going to take a look at the game more with more players. So stay tuned for that. Taking a look at the game with more players. So it's 3 cars ahead of me. 4 cars total. So frame rate seems to be about the same, but oh crap. Yeah, I mean, it looks like now that I have a little like cars on the screen, like my CPU usage and my CPU temp and wattage has spiked a bit, and the GPU wattage has dropped a little bit, So it looks like I'm a little bit more CPU bottlenecked, but it just kind of makes me wonder why this game was recommending a 7700X or a Intel Core i5 14600K. That's a complete lie, Like this game doesn't require that whatsoever. I think even if you have like a Ryzen 3600, you should be okay with this game, Yeah, so I guess I'll finish up in second place. Oh, final lap. Okay. So yeah, GPU requirements. I'm playing everything is set to epic. You can see the frame rate is in the 60s. This is with DLSS set to quality. So the GPU requirement was a little bit outrageous as well, requiring an ATI 9070 XT. Yeah, that's ludicrous. Or a RTX 4070. I mean, no way. I think you'd be okay if you have a you know, maybe even a 2080. Like you should be able to turn down some settings, at least for the VRAM for sure. And also, from what I can tell, I think the game runs 60 FPS on the PlayStation, the base PlayStation. So, you know, the PlayStation is equivalent to a 2060 Super. So you should be okay, you know, as long as you have a 2080. Yeah, a 2080 or above. But yeah, I mean, that's the game. You know, I don't know. I don't think it has any co-op mode or any online racing mode. It seems to be an anime-inspired campaign racer. You know, not really my thing, but you know, I love cars. I drive manual stick cars. I own manual stick cars, so I felt like giving this one a shot. You know, but it just seems like another generic racer. Performance for UE5 game is better than I expected. I mean, look at the frame time. It's pretty much almost flatline, which is quite shocking for me because Unreal Engine games tend to stutter. In case I didn't mention this previously, the game does have a not so obvious shader pre-compilation step. So when you first boot into the game, while it's loading up, you know, showing all the intros and the logos, it it does pre-compile the shaders in the background, which took roughly 2 minutes to complete. So it doesn't have a dedicated shader pre-compilation screen. So just be wary of that. If you have tools like MSI Afterburner or any FPS monitoring tool, you should be able to see your CPU usage spike to 100. That typically indicates a shader compilation, pre-compilation step is taking place in the background. So yeah, so let's take a look at another race. I guess I'm supposed to finish in a certain time period. We're now in the daytime. You know, the lighting is very flat, very, very flat. I mean, the textures are not even impressive. Like, I don't understand how this game is using a ton of like VRAM, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's okay. The aliasing, the anti-aliasing resolve isn't resolving. It's actually not that good. DLSS is not doing particularly well here. Yeah, you know, the signpost, the lamp, the bridge, the guardrails, they have a ton of shimmering. Yeah, and on top of that it's sort of like a blurry game too. So anyway, feel free to like, subscribe, share this video if you enjoy it. You know, this anyway. Take care. Have a good one.